The sound came first. Metal on metal, sharp and wrong. Then the thud, sickening and final. Sarah Chen's coffee splashed against the inside of her travel mug as she spun toward the noise. 20 feet ahead, a man in an expensive suit crumpled to the sidewalk like discarded paper. The delivery cyclist didn't even brake, just threw one terrified glance backward and disappeared into morning traffic. Nobody moved. Not the woman with the stroller. Not the businessman checking his phone. Not the teenager with headphones. They all just stepped around him. Around the puddle spreading beneath his twisted leg. Around the leather briefcase hemorrhaging papers across wet concrete. Sarah checked her watch. 7:48. She was already 12 minutes late. Marcus would write her up. Third strike. She knew the policy by heart now. 3 tardies in 30 days equals termination. No exceptions. No excuses. Especially not for single mothers with constant childcare dramas. As he'd so kindly put it last time, the man on the ground groaned, trying to push himself up. Damn it. Sarah dropped her bag and ran. Don't move, she said, kneeling beside him, her good work pants soaking through immediately. The cold seeped into her knees, but she barely noticed. An ambulance is coming. No ambulance. His voice was rough with pain but carried unmistakable authority. The kind of voice that expected obedience. I have a board meeting in 20 minutes. Sarah actually laughed. She couldn't help it. With all due respect, you can't even stand up. Watch me, he tried. Failed. His face went gray-white, and sweat beaded on his forehead despite the morning chill. His right foot jutted at an angle that made her stomach flip. She was already dialing 911. While she explained the situation to the dispatcher, her eyes fell on the scattered papers around them. Official letterhead. Pinnacle Technologies logo embossed in navy blue, and beneath it, in smaller text, Michael Rivera, Chief Executive Officer. Oh God, you work at Pinnacle? Her voice came out strange, thin. He focused on her through obvious pain. I built Pinnacle. And you are? Sarah Chen, Project Coordinator, Development Division. She swallowed hard. 7th floor. Something flickered across his face. Small world. The ambulance arrived with sirens screaming, and Sarah found herself being efficient, gathering his papers, answering the paramedics' questions, watching them confirm what she already knew. Broken. Badly. As they loaded him onto the stretcher, he caught her wrist. His grip was surprisingly strong. Most people kept walking. Anyone would have stopped. She lied. We both know that's not true. His gray eyes held hers. Would you? I hate hospitals. Just until they get me settled. Sarah's phone buzzed. 7:59. Diana's text was all caps. Where are you? Marcus is losing it. This would cost her everything. Her job. Her insurance. Emma's asthma medication. The rent. The careful balance she'd spent 2 years building after Emma's father decided fatherhood wasn't for him and vanished like smoke. Okay, Sarah heard herself say. She climbed into the ambulance and watched her career disappear through the back windows. The hospital was fluorescent lights and chemical smells and time moving like sludge. Sarah sat in the waiting room, watching her phone light up with increasingly frantic messages from Diana. Each buzz was another nail in the coffin. 8:15 a.m. Meeting started. Marcus asking where you are. 8:30 a.m. He's pissed. Like, scary pissed. 8:47 a.m. Sarah, seriously, where are you? 9:15 a.m. He's talking about final warnings. Policy violations. Please tell me you're okay. By the time Michael emerged, his leg encased in a temporary cast, a wheelchair being pushed by a nurse who looked exhausted by his attempts to refuse it. Sarah had missed her morning briefing, the weekly status meeting, and any chance of keeping her job. You're still here. He sounded surprised. Said I would be. Sarah stood, gathering her purse. Everything felt distant, like watching herself from far away. Shock, probably. They're giving you crutches? And a prescription I won't fill, and instructions I won't follow. He managed a tight smile. Thank you, Sarah Chun from the 7th floor. You've sacrificed enough. She'd sacrificed everything, actually. But what was she supposed to say? I just threw away my daughter's health insurance for a man I've never met? So she just nodded. The Pinnacle building looked different when you didn't belong there anymore. Taller, colder, more glass and steel, less possibility. Marcus was waiting at her desk when she arrived at 10:47 a.m. His arms were crossed. His expression could have frozen hell. Diana wouldn't look at her. My office. Now. The conversation lasted 4 minutes. Marcus didn't want to hear about hit and runs or broken bones or CEOs. He had policy on his side and a termination letter already printed. She'd blown past her third strike, and he was done with single mothers who treat this company like a charity that accommodates their constant personal emergencies. That's what did it. Not the firing, the casual cruelty. The way he said single mothers, like it was a character flaw. I helped someone who was seriously injured, Sarah said quietly. A human being who needed help. Not my problem. He slid the letter across his desk. Clean out your desk by noon. 20 minutes later, Sarah stood on the sidewalk clutching a cardboard box that didn't even fill halfway. 5 pictures of Emma. A ceramic mug Emma had painted in kindergarten. A succulent that was probably already dying. 2 years of work reduced to objects she could carry in one trip. Her phone rang. Jennifer, the babysitter. Sarah, honey, I heard through Mrs. Patel what happened. That's absolutely unconscionable. Small neighborhood. Everybody knew everything. Usually annoying. Today, Sarah was grateful for it. I'll figure it out, Sarah said, because what else could she say? But I might need to reduce Emma's hours until... Absolutely not. Jennifer's voice went firm. Emma stays with me, same schedule, and we'll settle payment when you're back on your feet. That's not a request, Sarah. That's what neighbors do. Sarah's eyes burned. She blinked hard, standing at the bus stop in her coffee-stained pants, holding her pathetic box, trying not to cry in public. Thank you, she whispered. At home, she meant to job hunt, update her resume, apply for unemployment. Instead, exhaustion pulled her under, and she woke 2 hours later to her phone buzzing. Unknown number. Sarah Chen. Crisp, professional, female. Speaking. This is Monica Bradford, executive assistant to Michael Rivera. Mr. Rivera would like to meet with you tomorrow morning at 9. Are you available? Sarah sat up fast enough to make her head spin. Meet with me? Why? He didn't share the specifics. Monica's tone warmed slightly, but he was quite insistent it be arranged immediately. After she hung up, Sarah stared at her phone for a full minute. What did the CEO of Pinnacle want with her? To make sure she wouldn't sue? To apologize? To somehow make things worse? When Emma burst through the door at 3:30, all gangly limbs and unbrushed hair, Sarah had applied to 8 jobs and spiraled through 47 scenarios for tomorrow's meeting. Mom, you're home. Emma's face lit up like Sarah had given her the moon. Why aren't you at work? 9 years old. Too perceptive. Too smart. Just like her father had been, before he'd decided being smart meant leaving. Sit down, Bug. We need to talk. Emma's expression shifted instantly. You got fired. How did you? You're home early, you look sad, and you keep checking your phone. Emma climbed onto the couch beside her. Plus, you ordered pizza for dinner. It's Wednesday. We only get pizza on Fridays or when something really big happens. Sarah pulled her daughter close, breathed in her strawberry shampoo scent. I helped someone who was hurt this morning. It made me late. My boss didn't care about the reason. That's completely illogical. Emma's voice went hot with indignation. Helping injured people is obviously more important than being exactly on time. I think so too. Is that person okay? His leg is broken, but he'll heal. Emma was quiet for a moment, processing. Then, in a smaller voice, are we going to be okay? And there it was. The question Sarah had been dreading, because she didn't know. Their emergency fund would last 6 weeks, maybe 7 if she was careful. Emma's asthma medication refill was due in 2.5 weeks. Rent in 9 days. Student loans didn't pause for unemployment. Yes, Sarah said firmly. I have a meeting tomorrow with someone important, and then I'll find something new. We're gonna be fine, Emma. I promise. She hoped it wasn't a lie. That night, after Emma fell asleep, Sarah sat at the kitchen table with cold tea and racing thoughts. What did Michael Rivera want? CEOs didn't personally meet with fired employees. They had lawyers for that, HR departments, legal teams. Unless he felt guilty, unless this was charity, unless she'd somehow violated protocol by riding in the ambulance and he was covering the company's liability. Her phone lit up. Diana. Everyone in the office is furious about what Marcus did. If you need a reference, I'll give you the best one you've ever seen. It helped. Not enough, but some. Sarah arrived at Pinnacle 30 minutes early the next morning. Having spent $15 on a rideshare she couldn't afford because she absolutely could not be late to this meeting. The security guard, Derek, looked up with sympathy. Heard what happened, Sarah. That was wrong. You're cleared for the executive elevator. 23rd floor. The executive elevator. In 2 years, she'd never once ridden it. Regular employees used the service elevators that smelled like burnt wiring and stopped at every floor. This elevator was pristine. Silent, rising so smoothly she barely felt the motion. The doors opened onto a different world. Soft gray carpet, abstract art, floor-to-ceiling windows showing the entire city spread out like a promise. Miss Chun, a woman with silver-streaked auburn hair, smiled from behind a curved mahogany desk. I'm Monica Bradford. Mr. Rivera is expecting you. Can I offer you anything? Water, please. Sarah's throat was bone dry. Monica led her through frosted glass doors into a corner office that seemed to occupy half the floor. Michael Rivera sat behind a massive desk, his casted leg propped on an ottoman. He looked up and smiled, and Sarah was struck by how different he seemed from yesterday's vulnerable stranger. This was a man who built empires. Sarah Chin, thank you for coming. He gestured to a leather chair. How are you? Unemployed, she said, then immediately regretted it. Sorry, that was honest. He leaned back. I appreciate honesty. I understand Marcus Sterling terminated you yesterday. Company policy. 3 strikes. She tried to keep her voice level. I'd already been written up twice for childcare issues. Yesterday was number 3. Tell me about yourself, Sarah. For 20 minutes, he asked questions. Her education, associate degree from community college, earned while working full-time. Her work history, administrative roles, a stint in retail, 2 years at Pinnacle. Her goals, stability, growth, maybe eventually moving into operations management. And Emma? He asked. Tell me about her. Sarah's whole face changed, softened. She's 9, brilliant, obsessed with science. She builds things constantly. Last week it was a catapult made from popsicle sticks. Wants to be an engineer or an astronaut, depending on which documentary she's watched. She sounds exceptional. Michael smiled. Any medical issues? Mild asthma, usually well controlled. Sarah frowned slightly. Why? I'm getting to that. He folded his hands. First, I owe you an apology. What happened to you was unconscionable. I've reviewed your file. Your performance reviews are outstanding. You've never missed a deadline. 3 department heads specifically praised your work. Marcus Sterling exceeded his authority. Hope fluttered. So my termination will be reversed? No. Michael held up a hand. I'm offering you something different. My executive assistant, Monica, is being promoted to Director of Operations next month. I need someone to fill her role. Someone with organizational skills, sound judgment, and the character to do the right thing even when it costs them everything. Sarah's mouth went dry. I don't have experience as an executive assistant. You have administrative experience, excellent people skills, and most importantly, integrity. He leaned forward. The technical parts can be learned. Monica will train you thoroughly. The salary would be roughly double what you were making, with better benefits and real flexibility for childcare emergencies. Double her salary. Emma's medication, better school district, emergency fund, security. The words seemed impossible. Why me? She whispered. You must have hundreds of qualified candidates. Do you know what I value most, Sarah? His gray eyes were intent. Not prestigious degrees or technical brilliance, though those matter. Character, integrity, the courage to do what's right even when it's costly. He gestured to his cast. Yesterday, you demonstrated those qualities. That tells me more than any resume ever could. This is incredibly generous. Sarah chose her words carefully. But I have to ask, is this charity? Because you feel guilty? No, he said it firmly. This is recognition. The accident revealed something valuable I might have otherwise missed. I gain an exceptional assistant with unique perspectives. You gain a position that actually values you. Mutually beneficial. Sarah took a breath. When would I start? Tomorrow? He smiled. Monica's eager to begin training, and I could use the help navigating the office in this condition. Tomorrow is perfect. Sarah felt a smile breaking across her face, real and wide. I won't let you down. What she couldn't know was that this moment would change more than her career. It would transform Pinnacle's entire culture, help hundreds of struggling families, and create something between her and Michael Rivera that neither of them could have predicted. But for now, riding down in the executive elevator, Sarah let herself feel something she hadn't felt in years. Hope. For months later, Sarah stood in her new condo's kitchen, watching Emma conduct elaborate experiments across the granite countertop, and thought about how completely her life had transformed. The cramped apartment with its leaky faucet and broken heater was gone. This place had 3 bedrooms, a doorman, and a rooftop garden where Emma could stargaze through the telescope Michael had given her after she'd aced her final exams. The company car service picked Sarah up each morning. Necessary for my assistant's efficiency, Michael had insisted, though they both knew it was more than that. Her wardrobe now included tailored suits and quality shoes, carefully selected during a shopping trip with Monica that still felt surreal. Mom, watch, Emma called, adding vinegar to baking soda with theatrical flair. That's amazing, Bug. Sarah set down the foundation proposal she'd been reviewing. Just clean up when you're done. The Pinnacle Foundation had become her passion. Working alongside Michael, she'd helped design programs that actually supported families like hers. Emergency childcare services, flexible work policies, mentorship programs, educational grants. The official launch was in 3 weeks, and Sarah would speak at the gala, sharing her story. Her phone chimed. Michael, need your insight on the Westridge deal. Dinner meeting at Romano's, 7:30. Car at 7. Jennifer confirmed for Emma. Sarah had grown accustomed to these last-minute requests. Michael respected her boundaries. He'd never schedule evening work without confirming childcare first, but his position sometimes required flexibility. Jennifer, now well compensated as Emma's official caregiver, never minded extending her hours. The professional transformation had been remarkable. Under Monica's patient guidance, Sarah had mastered executive protocol, learned to anticipate Michael's needs, built relationships with senior leadership. Marcus Sterling had been quietly transferred to a regional office in Phoenix. Sarah suspected that wasn't coincidental. What surprised her most was how her relationship with Michael had evolved. Formal appreciation had become genuine friendship. They worked seamlessly together, finishing each other's sentences in meetings. He valued her input on major decisions. She admired his vision. Emma adored him, especially after he'd arranged that private robotics museum tour. Naturally, Pinnacle's gossip mill had noticed. Some whispered that Sarah had manipulated Michael during his vulnerability. Others suggested romance. Sarah ignored it all, focusing on proving her worth through impeccable work. T7 sharp. Sarah kissed Emma goodbye and descended to the waiting car. Thomas, the driver, greeted her warmly. Evening, Miss Chun. Picking up Mr. Rivera first tonight. When they pulled up to Michael's brownstone 20 minutes later, he emerged without his cane. The orthopedist had recommended another month with it, but Michael was stubborn. He looked striking in his charcoal suit and burgundy tie, and Sarah firmly suppressed the flutter in her chest. Getting harder to suppress lately. Sorry for the short notice, he said, sliding in beside her. Gerald Westridge only had tonight free before Tokyo. It's fine. Sarah handed him her tablet with the annotated proposal. I've highlighted the questionable sections and added updated financials. He scrolled through, nodding. This is exceptional, Sarah. I genuinely don't know how I managed without you. Probably with significantly more coffee and significantly less sleep. He laughed, and warmth spread through her chest. She'd become skilled at ignoring these feelings. The quickened pulse when he smiled, the electricity when their hands accidentally touched, the way her day felt brighter when he was in it. Professional boundaries were essential, especially given their history. Romano's was Michael's preferred venue for important business. The maitre d' immediately escorted them to a private room where Gerald Westridge waited with 2 associates. Michael, good to see you mobile again. Gerald's gaze shifted to Sarah with curiosity. And this is Sarah Chun, my executive assistant and the Foundation's program architect. Michael's tone emphasized her dual role. She's been instrumental in developing tonight's partnership framework. The dinner flowed smoothly through courses and conversation. Sarah contributed when appropriate, her insights on implementation timelines particularly well received. As dessert arrived, Gerald turned to her with unexpected directness. So, Miss Chen, Michael mentioned you came to Pinnacle through rather unusual circumstances. Something about a dramatic street rescue? Sarah tensed. Before she could respond, Michael interjected smoothly. Sarah demonstrated exceptional judgment that morning, qualities she brings to every aspect of her work. Pinnacle is fortunate our paths crossed, however unconventionally. Gerald studied them both, then raised his glass. To fortunate coincidences and beneficial partnerships. The deal was sealed. That went better than expected, Michael remarked as they settled into the car afterward. Your phased implementation suggestion addressed his main concern. He was worried about overwhelming his existing systems, Sarah observed. The phasing gives his team adaptation time. Your ability to read people is remarkable. Michael's voice was quiet. It's one of your greatest strengths. Thank you. She was suddenly very aware of how close they were sitting in the dim back seat. I should review the gala arrangements when we get back. The event coordinator had questions about. It's nearly 10. Michael's tone was gentle. The seating chart can wait. Let's get you home to Emma. The drive passed in comfortable silence. When they arrived, Michael insisted on walking her to the lobby despite her protests. Thank you for tonight, he said at the elevators. Your contribution was invaluable. Just doing my job. She smiled. It's more than that. His expression grew serious. Sarah, there's something I've been wanting to discuss with you. The elevator doors opened. When Sarah looked back, something in his gray eyes made her pulse race. Yes, he shook his head. Not here. Not now. After the Foundation launch. We should focus on making that successful first. Sarah nodded, curiosity burning through her. Good night, Michael. Some might call it fate. Sarah preferred to think of it as proof that doing the right thing, even when it costs you everything, can lead to possibilities beyond imagination. And as Michael's thumb traced gentle circles on her palm, she silently thanked whatever force had put her on that sidewalk that morning. Being late to work had somehow led her exactly where she was meant to be. 3 weeks later, Sarah stood in Michael's office, reviewing the Foundation's first-month metrics. The numbers were staggering. Over 300 families had already accessed emergency childcare services. 52 single parents had enrolled in professional development programs. 12 had received educational grants. The testimonials pouring in daily made Sarah's eyes sting with recognition. These were her stories, her struggles, now being eased for others. This is remarkable, Michael said, reading over her shoulder. He stood close enough that she could feel his warmth. They'd been careful at the office, maintaining professional boundaries, but small moments like this had become precious. You should be incredibly proud. We should be proud, Sarah corrected. This was your vision. My vision, your heart. He turned her gently to face him. Sarah, there's something I've been wanting to discuss. That sounds ominous. She smiled to soften the words. Not ominous, just important. He took her hands. I know we agreed to keep things separate at work, and I respect that, but I don't want to keep hiding how I feel about you. Not from the board, not from the company, not from anyone. Sarah's heart quickened. What are you saying? I'm saying I want to restructure your reporting line as we discussed. I want to take you and Emma to that science museum exhibition she's been talking about. I want to introduce you properly at next month's investor dinner, not as my assistant, but as the woman I'm falling more in love with every day. He paused. If that's what you want too, Michael, I know it's fast. I know it's complicated. But Sarah, I've spent 3 years avoiding anything real because I was afraid of getting it wrong again. And then you literally ran into my life, and everything changed. His gray eyes were intense, vulnerable. I don't want to waste time being cautious when I know what I want. Sarah felt tears pricking her eyes. What about the gossip? The people who'll say I manipulated you or slept my way into this position. Let them talk. His voice was firm. Your work speaks for itself. The foundation's success speaks for itself. Anyone who can't see your value isn't worth our concern. He cupped her face gently. I love you, Sarah Chen. Completely. Emma too. I want this, all of it. The messy, complicated, beautiful reality of building something real together. I love you too, Sarah whispered. I have for weeks, maybe longer. I was just scared of losing everything again. You won't. He kissed her softly. I promise you won't. A knock at the door made them spring apart. Monica poked her head in, her expression carefully neutral but her eyes twinkling. Sorry to interrupt, but the board is ready for you both. Sarah and Michael exchanged glances. The board meeting. They'd been preparing for this, presenting the restructuring proposal that would shift Sarah's primary reporting line to the board of directors for foundation matters. Right, Sarah said, smoothing her suit. Professional face on. For now, Michael agreed, but his smile promised more later. The board meeting went better than Sarah had dared hope. The foundation's early success had impressed even the most skeptical directors. When Michael proposed the reporting restructure, framing it as essential for the foundation's independence and growth, the vote was unanimous. As they left the boardroom, Michael leaned close and whispered, Dinner tonight? All 3 of us. Emma would love that. So would I. That evening, Sarah watched Michael and Emma build an elaborate volcano together on the kitchen table, complete with LED lights and a complex baking soda delivery system Emma had engineered. Michael's expensive shirt sleeves were rolled up, his hair slightly mussed, listening intently as Emma explained her modifications to the basic design. See, if we add the vinegar through this tube instead of pouring it, we get better control over the eruption velocity. Emma explained seriously. That's brilliant, Michael said, and he meant it. You're going to be an incredible engineer someday. Emma beamed. Then, with the directness only 9-year-olds possessed, she asked, Are you going to be my mom's boyfriend now? Like officially? Sarah nearly dropped the salad she was preparing. Emma! What? I'm just asking. Emma looked between them. You guys keep looking at each other all googly-eyed. It's pretty obvious. Michael laughed, catching Sarah's eye. What do you think, Sarah? Should I be your boyfriend officially? I think, Sarah said, walking over to join them at the table, that we should all be officially having dinner together, and maybe doing science projects, and definitely spending more time as... She hesitated, searching for the right word. A family? Emma suggested hopefully. Sarah's throat tightened with emotion. She looked at Michael, seeing the same hope reflected in his eyes. Yeah, Sarah said softly. A family. Michael reached for her hand under the table, squeezed gently. Emma grinned and went back to her volcano, apparently satisfied with the answer. Later, after Emma had gone to bed and the kitchen was cleaned, Sarah and Michael sat on the balcony with wine, watching the city lights twinkle below. She called us a family, Sarah said wonderingly. She did. Michael pulled her closer. How does that feel? Terrifying. Amazing. Like maybe I'm dreaming and I'll wake up back in that cramped apartment, late for work, trying to figure out how to stretch $5 until payday. You're not dreaming. He kissed her temple. This is real. We're real. I keep thinking about that morning, Sarah admitted. If I'd walked past you, if I'd chosen my job over helping, I'd probably still be in that cubicle on the 7th floor, struggling, stressed, never knowing this was possible. But you didn't walk past, Michael said quietly. You stopped. You sacrificed everything to help someone who needed it. That says everything about who you are, Sarah. Or I'm just terrible at making practical decisions, she joked weakly. No, he turned her to face him. You made the only decision that mattered, the human one, and it changed both our lives. He smiled. Emma's too. She's thriving. Have you noticed? Sarah had. Emma was more confident, less anxious about money and stability. She'd made the soccer team at her new school. Her grades had improved. She laughed more freely. It's not just the financial stuff, Sarah said, though that helps tremendously. It's having you in our lives. Having someone who shows up, who keeps promises, who cares. I do care. Michael's voice was rough with emotion. More than I thought possible. I want to be here for all of it. 6 months later, Sarah stood at the podium during Pinnacle's annual company meeting, looking out at hundreds of employees. Michael sat in the front row, smiling encouragingly. Emma was backstage with Jennifer, waiting to watch her mom's presentation. When I first came to Pinnacle, Sarah began, I was just trying to survive, to keep my head above water and provide for my daughter. I didn't imagine I'd be standing here today as the director of the Pinnacle Foundation, announcing that we've helped over 2,000 families in our first 6 months. Applause rippled through the audience. But that's what happens when companies prioritize people over policy, when leaders value character over credentials, when we all remember that behind every employee is a full human life, with children and challenges and dreams and struggles. She saw Marcus Sterling in the back row, visiting from the Phoenix office. He wouldn't meet her eyes. The foundation's success isn't just about numbers, though the numbers are remarkable. It's about single parents who can finally breathe, kids who get their medications on time, families who don't have to choose between a paycheck and helping a stranger on the street. Her voice caught slightly on that last part. Michael's expression softened. We've proven that supporting employees' whole lives isn't charity. It's smart business. Our retention rates are up. Productivity is up. Innovation is up. Because when people feel secure and valued, they bring their best selves to work. As she continued her presentation, sharing testimonials and metrics and future plans, Sarah felt a profound sense of rightness. This was where she was meant to be, doing this work, building these programs, helping others who were where she'd been. After the presentation, as employees filed out, several approached to thank her, to share their own stories, to express gratitude that someone in leadership understood their struggles. Michael waited until the crowd thinned, then approached with Emma, who launched herself at Sarah. Mom, you were amazing. Everyone was crying. Happy tears, I hope? Sarah laughed, hugging her daughter tight. The best kind, Michael said, pulling them both into an embrace. Right there, in front of remaining employees and board members and anyone watching. Public and unmistakable. Sarah heard whispers, saw surprised expressions. But she didn't care anymore. Let them talk. She'd earned her place here, earned this love, earned this life. So, Michael said as they walked toward the exit, Emma chattering excitedly between them, there's something I wanted to discuss with you both. Another mysterious discussion. Sarah teased. The last one worked out pretty well. I'm hoping this one does too. He seemed nervous, which was unusual for Michael. I've been thinking about the future. Our future. Emma perked up. Are we getting a dog? Because I've been researching breeds that are good with allergies. Not a dog, Michael said, laughing. Though we can discuss that later. He stopped walking, turning to face them both. I've been thinking about family, about what that means, about how lucky I am to have found you both. Sarah's heart started pounding. Emma, Michael knelt down to her level. I wanted to ask you something first. How would you feel if I asked your mom to marry me? If we became an official family, with paperwork and everything. Emma's eyes went huge. Are you serious? Completely serious. Would I get to be in the wedding? You'd be the most important person there. Emma threw her arms around Michael's neck. Yes, obviously yes. Mom, say yes. Michael stood, reaching into his pocket. He pulled out a small velvet box, and Sarah's breath caught. This was happening. This was real. Sarah Chun, Michael said, opening the box to reveal a stunning ring. Elegant, simple, perfect. 6 months ago, you stopped to help a stranger when no one else would. You sacrificed everything because it was the right thing to do. You showed me what true character looks like, what integrity means. His voice thickened with emotion. You've brought joy and purpose and love into my life. You and Emma both. I don't want to imagine a future without you in it. Will you marry me? Sarah's vision blurred with tears. Yes, God, yes. Michael slipped the ring on her finger, and Emma cheered, jumping up and down. Then he was kissing Sarah. Right there in Pinnacle's lobby, with employees rushing past and Emma still cheering and everything feeling absolutely perfect. When they finally broke apart, Sarah was laughing and crying simultaneously. I can't believe this is my life now. Believe it, Michael said, wiping tears from her cheeks. You deserve every bit of this happiness, Sarah. Every bit. We're getting married, Emma announced to a passing group of employees, who offered surprised congratulations. As they walked out of Pinnacle together, Michael and Sarah hand in hand, Emma skipping ahead, Sarah thought again about that rainy morning 6 months ago, about the choice she'd made, about the cost and the reward. She'd been so afraid that morning, afraid of being late, afraid of losing her job, afraid of not being able to provide for Emma, afraid of everything falling apart. But sometimes falling apart is how you make room for something better to come together. Sometimes being late leads you exactly on time. Sometimes the risk that seems reckless is actually the bravest thing you'll ever do. And sometimes, when you stop to help a stranger on a rain-soaked sidewalk, you're not just saving them, you're saving yourself. 1 year later, the wedding was small, intimate, perfect. Just close friends and family in the rooftop garden of their building, with the city spread out below them like a promise. Emma served as maid of honor, taking her duties very seriously. Jennifer cried through the entire ceremony. Monica gave a toast about fate and second chances that left everyone reaching for tissues. Marcus Sterling was not invited. But the 2,000 families helped by the Pinnacle Foundation's first year were there in spirit, represented by photos and testimonials displayed around the venue. Sarah had insisted on it. This celebration wasn't just about her and Michael. It was about what was possible when people chose compassion over convenience. As Sarah walked down the makeshift aisle, she caught Michael's expression. Pure love, pure joy, pure certainty. When the officiant asked if anyone objected, Emma stage whispered, "If anyone says anything, I'm gonna fight them." Laughter rippled through the gathering. The vows were simple, heartfelt, real. "I promise to always stop," Sarah said. "Even when I'm running late, even when it's inconvenient, even when it costs me everything. Because you taught me that stopping, really seeing people, really helping is never the wrong choice." "I promise to always be worth stopping for," Michael replied, his voice thick with emotion. "To never take for granted the extraordinary woman who sacrificed everything to help a stranger. To build a life with you that honors that kindness every single day." They exchanged rings, kissed as husband and wife. Emma cheered louder than everyone else combined. At the reception, as they swayed together during their first dance, Michael whispered, "No regrets." "Not a single one," Sarah whispered back. "You, only that I didn't break my ankle sooner." He joked, then turned serious. "I love you, Sarah Rivera. Thank you for stopping that morning. Thank you for giving me this life. Thank you for being worth the stop," she replied. Later, watching Emma dance with absolute abandon, her flower crown askew and her dress already stained with cake, Sarah felt overwhelming gratitude. For the accident, for the choice, for the consequences that had seemed so catastrophic at the time. She'd lost a job that undervalued her and gained a career that fulfilled her. She'd lost financial anxiety and gained security. She'd lost isolation and gained family. She'd lost fear and gained love. All because she'd chosen kindness when it was inconvenient. All because she'd stopped running and started seeing. All because one rainy morning, she decided that some things mattered more than being on time. Michael caught her eye from across the reception, smiled that smile that still made her heart skip, and mouthed, "I love you." Sarah mouthed it back, then pulled Emma into a hug as the celebration continued around them. This was her life now, improbably, impossibly, wonderfully hers. And it had all started with a single choice on a rain-slick sidewalk. To stop, to help, to care. Sometimes that's all it takes to change everything. If this story moved you, please like, share, and subscribe for more inspiring stories about kindness, second chances, and the unexpected ways our lives can transform. Comment below with your own stories of times when helping someone changed your life. Remember, you never know when a simple act of compassion might lead to something extraordinary. If this story touched your heart, please like, share, and subscribe for more inspiring tales about the power of kindness and second chances. Comment below with your own experiences of times when helping someone changed your life. Remember, you never know when a simple act of compassion might transform not just one life, but thousands. Choose kindness, always.